Hey guys, I'm coming in today working on an extra special soap. This is going to be the soap that I swap in the fall 2016 Brambleberry soap swap. So this might bring some new people to my channel. If you are new to my channel because of the swap, my name is Annie. My company is Arachne's Demise, and that's where you are right now, watching me make my soap. The soap that I'm doing is a Castile soap, as I always do. I do all olive oil soaps, but I always add a bit of a super fat. Usually between 3 to 5% I do. It vastly improves the texture of the Castile soap, and it just adds a little extra benefit, but I very rarely ever do any coconut oil. I think I have one soap that has a little bit of coconut oil, so that's a Bastille bar, but I never use palm oil or anything like that. So this is extra virgin olive oil, a little bit of unrefined shea butter, a little bit of unrefined cocoa butter, and I have some wild yam extract, which is suspended in glycerin, good for inflammation and things like that. And the fragrance that I have that I'm really excited about is a new one to try, is Smoldering Embers. And here, let me read the description of this fragrance. It was very intriguing to me. It says, strong smoky tobacco notes are accented with top notes of cocoa powder and orange peel. The heart of this fragrance highlights roasted coffee beans, clove, and tobacco, while the bottom is rounded out with notes of cypress, patchouli, and suede. It is very intense out of bottle. It's definitely one of those ones that you can kind of just tell by smelling it that it needs to mellow in something to really kind of let it shine. But I do like it out of bottle too. You can definitely tell the smokiness and the leathery suede notes to it that way. I'm going to stop stirring here. I stick blended for just a minute, and by a minute I only mean maybe like 25 seconds. And then I stirred in my fragrance and my super fat, and now I have 6 different colors that I'm going to do in squirt bottles, and I want this to say super fluid for the e-brew style swirl that I'm going to be doing with it. Another thing I got from Brambleberry with this fragrance, because like I said, I'd never tried this fragrance before, so I ordered it for the first time, but I got their raspberry red mica, which I'm really excited about. That is the one that's over here. And then I have some orange, I have some yellow, I have some burgundy, I've got some copper, and I've got some 24 karat gold micas that I'm doing. Very fire toned warm toned colors for this soap here. Now, I've never done a soap swap before. Usually I think, well, that's a lot of soap for me to have. I don't necessarily need that much soap, but it's really not even about me having that much soap. I've really gotten, in the past few months, gotten into trying other people's soaps more. It's really just been kind of fun to test out other recipes because, you know, I do make just Castile soaps, and there's so many other different textures and lather types out there that I'm not even experiencing. So getting to experience that is pretty fun. But also there's a huge chance for exposure with this. I want to hopefully let other soap makers know that Castile soap doesn't have to be slimy. It doesn't have to cure for 6 months to a year. Now granted, all soap gets better as it cures, I believe. So if you want to cure your soap that long, like, go for it. But today is the 11th of August, excuse me, I had a brain fart. It's August 11th, and I'll be sending this out in like a month or so, and it's going to be good to go by then. I did do a water discount, as I always do. I did test this fragrance earlier today as well. I tested a couple. I thought, you know, I might as well go tiny batch and test all the different fragrances that I've never tried. I've got lots of little sample bottles I've accumulated over the years I've never done anything with, and I thought, you know, I might as well just see how these react. And this one did stay very fluid for probably 15 to 20 minutes or so. Ooh, and the soap is already looking super sparkly. I wanted this highly pigmented. Awesome. But this one stayed super fluid on me, so I feel like I'm going to be able to pull my swirls off nicely. Because with the squirt bottles, it's very, very time consuming. For this swap, at first I thought I was going, I had asked one of the girls at Brambleberry, hey, can I blend 2 fragrances, because I'm almost out of my Fizzy Pear soap, which I blend ginger ale and the crisp anjou pear fragrances from Brambleberry, and I love that blend. it's just so, it is crisp, but it's also effervescent. It's just incredible. And I asked her, ooh, let me see if I can do that. But as I was waiting for her reply, I'm on the Brambleberry site, I'm looking at fragrance oils, and I'm just like, oh man, so many of these sound good. Let's just take this opportunity to try something new. So by then I had already submitted my choices. My first choice I wanted was green fig, but I forget the girl who got the green fig, but I saw on Instagram that she put hers in. She's like, ooh, green fig, and I was like, oh, you're probably gonna get that, but that's okay, because a close second was this Smoldering Embers, and I'm really happy that I ended up with this. But I did get more of the Anjou pear and the ginger ale fragrance to do my fizzy pear soap again when that runs out. I've got one left in stock, so I'll probably end up making that again soon. Just won't be for the swap, and that's okay, because I want to be able to sell it anyhow. I'm also working, I've got, as far as my molds go, my tall skinny mold does like 9 bars maximum. My slab mold does 9 bars maximum, and I thought, you know, there's a chance that I could get away with doing my 9 bar slab mold and then using one of my single cavity molds to do the 10th one. And I thought, no, it's going to be odd looking, it's not going to be the exact same shape, that's just, I don't want to do that. Frankly, I think those cure to be less than 4 ounces anyways. So what I decided to do, I've got a box here. If you are not new to my channel, you know that I will make whatever I have work for the design that I have in mind. So I have a box here that's going to give me 12 bars of soap. So there's going to be 2 left after the swap that I'll be able to sell. And I've got some really cool Erie swirls in mind for this design. Really, really hoping that it turns out how I think it's gonna. Luckily I've got enough, I don't have a lot of experience with marbling, but I've got enough experience with marbling where my inspiration piece that I saw, you know, I feel like I know how to do that. So as long as my batter stays this liquidy, I think I'm going to, for the most part, be able to pull that off, which is really exciting because it's gonna look stunning if I can in fact pull it off. Still mixing here. This is 3 pounds of olive oil. I usually work in 2-pound batches, so it's definitely a little bit more soap than I'm used to at once, but that allowed me to get all these beautiful colors and to make a batch big enough to give everybody a decent sized bar. 10 bars I'll send out. This is that raspberry mica. Ooh. I feel like I could blend this with a little bit of red oxide and get like a really perfect red in soap. I've seen a lot of people lately get a really good red in soap, but they're all from suppliers I've never tried before, and I know these are reputable suppliers, but I tend to stick with the ones that I order from all the time. I just do. I don't know. Call me stubborn, call me loyal, I don't know what you want to call it, but I stick with what I know most of the time. And this raspberry red mica from Brambleberry, I was like, you know what? Perfect. That's a gorgeous color. This fragrance does turn a tan. Let me pull actually my little mini guy that I made today. I just did these in little paper cups. So you can see it's just a tiny bit tan. It's like 1% vanilla that's in here. And it was sort of a golden, where it's kind of in the light, it was sort of a golden looking fragrance oil. See, it's still pretty squishy even. It's not set up like some of the other fragrances I tested today. But this one I did a 2-to-1 lye ratio, and it was, you can see where it's sort of textured in there, it was sort of giving me a medium trace after about 10 or 15 minutes. So I added, it's just a hair more than a 2-to-1 lye ratio I did. Anyways, I don't remember what I was talking about before that. Oh, but it's going to discolor slightly. I did not add a stabilizer because I think a tan is going to work and benefit for my warm color scheme that I have going on, so I'm not going to fight it. That would have been a lot of stabilizer to add to, and I don't want to have to do that if I don't actually have to. Okay, I'm going to start filling my squirt bottles, and then it's going to be a lot of squirting. I'm going to fast forward through most of my squirting because that's just boring. I'm getting all of my talking done out of the way right now, telling you about my plan and whatnot. See, I already like this fragrance even more now that it has has been added to the soap batter. I added a lot of mica to these colors too. I really wanted it to be kind of sparkly. Yeah, baby. Yeah, excited about the swap. I'm excited to not only get to see some new techniques, hopefully, and smell new fragrances that I probably haven't tried, because I think we can never have too many fragrances. Yeah, tell me one soap maker that doesn't want to get more fragrances, no matter how many hundreds of them you may already have. We always want more. So smelling new fragrances will be cool, checking out new techniques will be cool. And then from the exposure end, hopefully I can get my stuff out there for people. And I don't know, I'm sort of on a mission to let people know that Castile soap doesn't have to be like slimy and weird. It can be just as nice as something that gets super duper bubbly. This is my gold. And if I'm one of those 10% of people that ends up with soap in Anne Marie's box, oh my goodness, that would be just, that's like the soap lottery right there, to have Anne Marie hold one of my soaps. Are you kidding me? Not gonna hold my breath though, because then I'm just gonna get let down when I'm not one of those people. But I'll admit, I'm totally hoping for that. That would be cool. We're still staying fluid, as I knew we were. I've actually never tested a fragrance ahead of time before until today. I've never gone through that whole process. It seemed like a lot of work for me. I'm usually just one to just wing it. But I wanted to be prepared today. I did have other ones that I needed to test out as well. There's a fragrance that I've had a sample of for almost a year now that is just so intoxicating to me. It smells so amazing. That one actually accelerated quite a bit, which hopefully with what I have in mind for it isn't a big deal. But we'll save that conversation for another video. Whoopsie. Glad I didn't want to do more colors because I only have 6 squeeze bottles right now. Tiny bit left in here. I'm going to go ahead and pour that into my mold. This tiny little drizzle at the bottom is not going to make a huge difference in the long run, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to worry about it at all. But I don't want to waste it. Oops. Okay, last one. Squirting that in my mold over there. Let's get this over here and I'll get the mold in view. When you're looking at nothing pretty right now. Again, for those of you who are sort of new to my channel, I have been turning my dehumidifier off down here so you can hear me a little bit better, but it has been so stinking hot and mostly humid. It's probably only been in the mid-80s here in Erie, Pennsylvania, but the humidity has been, I'm not kidding, 90 to 100% because it rained a lot off and on today, and you walk outside and it's like you're just walking into a sweaty armpit. It is ridiculous. And yeah, my air conditioner has been going kind of non-stop, so if you hear sort of like a whooshing sound in the back, that's my central air. I need it to survive, so please forgive that background noise until it kicks off again. It's been working overtime. Alright, here's my little mold. I'm going to go ahead just back and forth with all of my colors until it's all gone. I'm going to fast forward through that part, but let me go ahead and do that, fill up the mold, and I will start talking to you guys again when it gets time to swirl. Alright. somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes. I'm honestly not positive. So I've had as much time as I wanted it to take anymore, and it's going to start to get a little thick on me, but as you can see, it's perfectly flat. There's no texture, basically at all, and I don't want any. I need it to be very liquid to do what I want to do with it. So yeah, my goal here, I do have it marked where the bars are going to be. I'm going to go back and forth, and then I have this little rake guy. I'm going to actually do a loop and swirl in the center, hopefully in the center of every bar. I've got some inspiration, some Erie inspiration. I will post a picture of that if I can remember to this video somewhere in between now and the cutting to show you what I'm trying to achieve, and we'll see if it looks anything like that. First, I'm going to drag back and forth. We do have some speckling as I was getting air bubbles and stuff in, you know, the end there. Not a problem. Going back and forth is going to sort of eliminate any speckliness. Yeah, I'm really happy with the colors for one, like the amount of sparkliness that they have, their boldness, and just in general how fluid this has stayed. This is amazing. This is exactly what I needed. I'm going all the way down. I didn't spend all that time with the squirt bottles to make a design that's only on the top, so all the way down. I didn't mention it before, but I think this is a fragrance that men could enjoy too. Now, this isn't the most manly color scheme that I have here. I wouldn't say that it's I mean, I don't know, I guess it's feminine, I don't know. There's plenty of dudes out here that could still appreciate this, hopefully. But overall, I think this scent could be enjoyed by all. And while it's sort of a fall type scent, like it's not a, I wouldn't call it a summery scent, it doesn't scream like holidays to me. It's not pumpkin-y or cranberry or anything like that. So I think it'll be good for all year round. But for the swap, I didn't want to pick like a real summery fragrance. I just thought that felt weird. Okay, here's the crazy part. But first, let me, I want to take a photo of the way it looks right now. I like getting photos of the stages of all of my swirls. Okay. Now what I'm going to do with my rake, I'm going to start the bottom, and at the, like, here's where this bar is going to be. I'm going to start this bottom corner and loop up, and because this is on a rake and I'm not doing it individually, they should all be even in size and in swirl amount. Hopefully. I did measure out the way these are too. These are 3 inches apart. Okay. A little nervous. I've never done a swirl like this before. Boop. Okay. Pretty cool, pretty cool. I'm not mad at that one bit. I might try to make the other ones a little bit wider. But I'm not mad at that. I might end up doing some kind of line going like that. We'll see. Let's keep going. 3 more sets to do. There we go. See, that's a little bigger. I like that. Yeah, I like that. I don't hate the other ones, but I like that those are just a little bit bigger. Okay, whew, pretty excited. And last one. All right. Yeah, that turned out pretty sweet. I think I will. Do I want to do something there? Oh, yeah. Let me get my photo. Stew for just a moment. And probably stop. I know it's good for me. I'm going to stop. I'm starting to get a wee bit of texture. The little pulling up of that is giving me the tiniest, like maybe 0.5 millimeters worth of a hump upward. I'm not really that worried about that, honestly. Trying to visualize how they're going to look when they're cut. Some will be a wee bit more centered than others, swirl-wise, but I'm not that worried about it. Yeah, I'm gonna stop. I'm just gonna stop. I'm just gonna stop. Honestly, the view that I'm looking at here on the camera, it isn't as cool as it looks right in front of my eyeballs. So I think it'll be beneficial to put those pictures in. You know what? I can't just be satisfied, can I? I think I'm gonna go. I kind of want to put swirls in there. I kind of want to put them in there. Huh. Just want it to be the two, I think. There's like more of a space there than there is over here, but I could still easily put a swirl right there. I'm gonna chopstick it. These went that way, I'm gonna go this one. Go this way. Lord help me. Yeah, that's awesome. Happy I'm doing this. Okay. Colors are going well enough together where I don't have to worry about it being like too swirled. And I got my planer because I know I'm going to get ash on top. I always do. One more. I realized these went this way and the rest went the same way as the other ones. That's okay. I don't care. I think that's freaking gorgeous. So let me go ahead and take a picture of this. Yeah, these I went counterclockwise and then the rest I ended up going clockwise because my brain doesn't work counterclockwise. That's cool. I don't care. I'm excited. Okay. Still don't have a name for this one yet. Oh, there goes my air conditioner. There's the sound difference there for you guys. So I'm glad I'm done. Yeah, it's nighttime now. It's about 10:21 in the PM. I'm going to go to bed. Let this guy sleep all night like me. And we're going to cut it together in the morning or in the afternoon, actually, when Tesla is napping. So yeah, I will see you guys in the future. Hey guys, I'm back. It's actually been several days, and I attempted to do a cutting video for what I'm going to call Nicotine Bitch Slap for the Brambleberry soap swap. I ended up having problems with the shape of my mold versus how I was going to cut these soaps. I cut the first one and I realized that if I cut them that way, resulting in 12 bars, they're 4 ounces now, like exactly, but they're going to cure and be less than 4 ounces. And I'm not trying to rip anybody off, period. So these are actually cut a little bit bigger. They're actually over 5 ounces now. They're going to cure down to about 5. I had to make another tiny little batch, so I had enough because I got 9 bigger bars and I needed 10. So I ended up making another batch. Whatever, what are you going to do? They were soft for a really long time too, guys. It's the fragrance, because I made another batch of soap the next day. It was instantly like hard by the end of the night, like rock hard, and these were still really squishy. Because like I said, it's been almost a week. I did plane these. This one I went ahead and beveled. It needed time before I beveled it. And I also made sure I could stamp it. This is not one that's going to go in the swap because I did have, technically I have 2 left over and then 2 that I cut weird, and those are just going to be samples. But the stamp's coming up nice. I'm going to go ahead and just bevel them here on camera and show them all to you that way. For comparison reasons. I almost wasn't even going to say that I had to make a second batch because they're the exact same ingredients. It doesn't really matter. But I ran out of a different kind of mica. This one has a different, that darker color is satin clay mica, red clay satin, something like that. And the copper and that burgundy one that I had here I was out of, and they obviously turn a little bit different in here. This one still needs planed on the top as well. So they're slightly different size even too, because I'd use a different mold. They're going to weigh the same. This is just a little bit taller and a little bit skinnier. They're all over 4 ounces, so that's all that matters. And they're all with the Smoldering Embers fragrance oil. So here's one of the ones that I've done. I will say when I cut them too, I had to use a knife. I was using Sly's advice from Soaps by Sly. She's like, you know, you can try a knife instead of with that wire. Tried the knife. What I get is these weird, it like crumbles on the edges. Now usually crumbling means you didn't fully neat trace. No, it's just the way my knife like wants to like pull parts of it off with the knife. I cannot get it to slide out clean. So I tried Sly, I really tried. And I mean, it worked at the time. I thought it was okay, but then when I go to like clean them up, it was just like crumbling edges. Oh, so frustrating. So I'm just ditching that portion of the video. Y'all don't need to see me having a heart attack over the soap. What I'm going to do, this is my planer. I've been getting a lot of inquiries about where I got my planer slash beveler. Alex Kelly over at Custom Soap Stamps, that's the name of his shop, Custom Soap Stamps on Etsy. He hooked me up with this planer. He gave me a really good deal. He has a get a soap stamp and a planer like discount thing, and that's what I did. It's an amazing price to do it that way. I don't remember exactly what it was, but you're basically getting one of the items half off. The planer or the stamp equals to be about half off when you get them together, something like that. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to put links in my description box for him as well. I'm going to go ahead and plane the tops of my new ones off. The ones that aren't quite as new, I'm not going to plane again, but I did want to give them a couple days before I bevel them. So I'm going to plane, bevel, and stamp all of the things that need done for each individual bar. I'm going to go ahead and speed that portion up, but I'll go ahead and hold it up in front of the camera for long enough for you guys to get a glimpse of them, and then attach lots of pictures at the end of the video. So let's go ahead